Welcome to the house, the morning mist, beyond schizophrenia. This is where we're going again, 2020. Again, we're going straight beyond through the mist and on the other side. But on this side, we got the Hello Kitty. he's gonna Hello Kitty is gonna make this video with me today, and nice little lollipop here. It's like taking candy from a kitty, you know. I'm pretty mean, right? Taking candy from a baby. Uh, but this video is gonna be titled. I want to call it "Schizophrenia and the Power of Isolation." And I want to make this video because I find it, I think it'll be a very effective. Well, the reason why I make these videos is, because I feel obviously people going through their struggles with schizophrenia, and I feel that there are different ways that you can approach the subject, schizophrenia or the illness itself, and trying to overcome it. Now, medically, schizophrenia is caused by that's what they say. It's caused by the chemical imbalance within the mind, within the brain, and that's good. That's fine because that's where they're trying to make medications to rectify that imbalance. When I think about it, how come they haven't? Yeah. Anyway, it's something different. But got a little cold here. But I don't like to think about it like that, and I've never ever approached it on the path to my recovery from that perspective. I've always taken medications, I guess, in order to attack it from that perspective. I assume those are what the medications are for. But I was never interested in moving along that direction. So what I did, how I viewed it was as an enemy. Right? I view schizophrenia as an enemy and something that is out to destroy me, destroy my mind, ultimately take my life. Right? And it's from that perspective that I challenged it from, because I do think if I was to have a border, right, and let's say I'm being attacked on that border by enemies, or the enemies on this side, and I got my side, and we're at war. I want to protect my borders. I want to protect what's on my side, things that are mine, and at the same time, I'm trying to take on my enemy. And but the enemy on the other side, they're not just they have an order to their way of doing things as well, right? They're smart and they know me, and so I've got to understand that where my weaknesses are, the enemy is going to try and exploit that weakness, right? And so if schizophrenia was that enemy, one of the things that I feel it would try to do, to accomplish, in order to reach its ultimate goal, which is my destruction, it would seek to cut me off from the power and strength of my support, right? Because if I am hit in this struggle, this armed struggle, if I'm hit and there are people there to catch me, or they find me, I'm bleeding, I'm unconscious, and they can take me to the infirmary, they can help me get recovered, and help set me up so I can get going again, right? Get back on the battlefield. And life is a battle, right? It's a battle. It's a battle, and and this world is a battlefield. But so so one of the things they can do is to cut that off, right? So when I'm hit, there's nobody there to help me recover. There's nobody there to stop my bleeding. There's nobody there to support me in ways that would uh, keep me alive and keep me moving, right? So it's from this perspective that I view schizophrenia. So isolation is the place where it wants to get me, right? And when you start to be paranoid and not trust the people, no longer trust the people who are there for you, family, friends, people really concerned about your well-being, about my well-being at the time, but I saw them as frauds and pretenders and liars and really just demons trying to deceive me, and that they're the ones who wanted to kill me. Meanwhile, the voices were pretending to be angels and all these things that were things that that I could trust, people that I could trust for, you know what I mean? And so I would commit myself to them at the same time looking at everybody else as villains. It's not convenient, right? It's convenient because I'd push everybody away, and all now I was alone with voices out here. Some in here and some out here. I'm combating things in here and yet talking to the beings out here that were going to help me alleviate the pressure that was going on within. I never considered that the very thing that was out here communing with me was also uh, part of the problem, with what's going on up here. So, and you even look at when you look at when you look at the power of isolation again, and you see in like the jungle, the wild, and you see that how groups of animals, certain groups or animals travel in groups, and they feed together, they go travel together, they drink together, and so forth. And if you notice that when predators come, and certain predators are have to be careful even when they're going after the sick or the weak, the sick, the weak, and the young, but because those are oftentimes or can be protected by the adults of the group, right? So even a predator going to attack these animals have to be wary because there's support amongst them, right? But certain animals now who might hunt even in groups as well, packs, they're smart as well, right? So what they try to do is, uh, cut off the young ones or the sick or whatever, the vulnerable from the pack, from the rest of the group, right? And it's when that one is alone and isolated, then they move in for the kill, right? And it's really never, rarely is there escape out of that situation. And so this is the illness schizophrenia. It is of that very nature. It tries to cut you off from the support, have you by yourself, and it is in that place where these things ruminate in your mind and tears you up. And is when you are in isolation, you start to really envision suicide, and you start to envision murder, and you start to envision all these thoughts of despair, and it tears you up, There's other times when I was at my worst, because even when I was with people, I was always, battling in here. But there was something different about being crazy alone than being crazy when everybody else is around. When everybody is around, I'd keep certain things in check. When I was alone, I would always curse these voices, and I would really struggle. My struggle would just be expressed outside because I thought nobody else was around. And it's sometimes those were the times when I really reached my lowest points, and when I went to kill myself and went to just in my darkest moments. That's the power of isolation. It is a place where you will be stripped and you will be beaten and you will be dragged about and you will be led to your death. Possibly. It's no guarantee, but it's just a place you don't want to be. So for me now, knowing this danger and knowing that I don't want to be there, how do you overcome isolation? You have to, well, not isolate yourself. So here is the thing when I say to view it as an enemy. And because if it's an enemy and it's trying to trap you in a place where it can really do you harm, then the way to combat this enemy, you have to combat the enemy, right? If it's an enemy and it's attacking you, you got to know how to fight back. You have to, or else you're just going to leave yourself as a victim. That's all you'll be, is just another statistic, all right? And you don't want to be that. So you have to fight back. You have to really get in your head that this is a struggle, and to fight back against the power of isolation is to not isolate yourself. It doesn't mean you can't be alone. You can be alone, but don't be forced into isolation. You know what I mean? Nor stay in isolation because of everybody else, but seek to stand with people and seek to walk with people and to commune with people. And you got to challenge that feeling that tells you that you should want to be alone because of the way because everybody else is the enemies. It's not them that's the enemy. It's the thing that wants you to be alone with it. That's what you got to be careful for, because in the darkness, all when you're all alone, there is strength in that thing, and there's weakness in you. And if you don't recognize that weakness, you're going to be exploited and you're going to be hit right there in the place where you are weak. So cover that up, guard against it, or else you're going to be another victim of this thing. So schizophrenia and the power of isolation. Hopefully me and Hello Kitty were able to shine some light on that, and hopefully somebody can hear something in that and find strength, find something that can help them move past this and through this. But remember, there might not be a cure medically, but you are a cure in yourself, right? Because this thing originates within your mind and you can overcome it. All right, it originates there, and the answer can originate from there as well, from within you. It's just how you approach it. You know what I mean? Truth is kind of subjective on this. So, you know what I mean? Medically, there's one way, but there are other ways, and it's just how you, like I said, how you approach it, and with the correct mindset, you can take your life back. And this is and move in the direction of taking back what is taken from you, because when you're diagnosed with this thing, you are pushed back. They cross your borders and are pushing you further and further back in your own border. But at some point, you got to stop running. At some point, you got to stop hiding. At some point, you have to take a stand. There's no way around it. You got to take a stand and you got to start pushing back, and everything starts right here. You see what I'm saying? So you got to recognize that there's a battle to be fought, and you are the soldier on that battlefield. And if you're running, you're missing from action. Everybody else can't fight it for you. Nobody can fight it for you. You got to stand up. You are the soldier. You are in duty, and if you're busy running and hiding and cowering in fear like I was, the man for the job is out of commission. But we need you to stand up, and we need you to get on the battlefield, because this is yours and you can win. The thing is afraid of you. You see what I'm saying? Because this is your property, it's your land, and you have every right. Right? Legally, it's yours. So you just gotta go and make your stand, and recognize where your weaknesses are, and when you start, taking those steps forward, stand with conviction. Trust me, it'll start to give back. The enemy won't start to move back. You're gonna have to. It's the only way. So yeah. Thank you for taking the time, and bye.